Hello, guys. Welcome to the Home for Infinite Losers podcast. Thank you. How's it going? Fresh off a vacation here. We went to Corpus Christi for a family member's graduation. I mean, we've been back home for a while, but that's just what we went to go do. Finally got some time here, though, and I just wanted to catch up with you guys. It's been a little minute. Today I wanted to talk about the final match of John Cena and kind of where things are going to go from there. Now that the dust has settled, it's been like 2 weeks since it happened. About a week and a half since it happened. So, kind of wanted to see what the fallout was going to be and just have my own opinion for the sake of putting my 2 cents in. But it was a good match. Gunther, like I said, it turns out, unfortunately, that I was right. So, Reggie's always right, I guess. But it was a surprisingly good match. So, I mean, at the beginning, the stakes were pretty high. For the whole year, Cena's pretty much been putting to bed all the old rivalries that he could have. I mean, Edge isn't in WWE, of course, so he's not going to be able to tie off all of those loose ends. But he did what he could. He made the best of what he could. So I enjoyed everything. Everything was pretty good. So yeah, we had the Last Time Is Now tournament, and Gunther ended up winning the tournament. So it wasn't really like a complicated build-up. It was basically Gunther saying he was going to make Cena tap out, and Cena, his whole thing is, I never give up. So sometimes the nuance of the story is in its simplicity. So when we get to Saturday night's main event, Cena's final entrance was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Especially when My Time Is Now hit, everybody just went crazy because, it was kind of the last time. Everyone was there. RVD was there. Kurt Angle was there. Booker T. There was a lot of people. Kevin Owens was there. Trish Stratus. There was a lot of fucking people there. The place was kind of just like a mix of celebration and like bittersweet electricity, I would say. Gunther's entrance was obviously awesome, classic, just the ring general with that classical music that I'm glad they fucking brought back because I was missing it. With the booze kind of go with his music, I'm not going to lie. But the reaction didn't really deter him. He just kind of walked stone-faced to the ring as he usually does. And it works for his character, so I'm not knocking that. So even before the bell rang, the story was pretty much set. And it's an easy story. Gunther just wants to destroy that legacy, and Cena's leaving, so he wants to leave on a good note. So they lock up. And instantly you feel the contrast. Cena just goes to, the classic locks and shoulder tackles. And Gunther pretty much is just countering everything this entire match. The crowd is just chanting for Cena the whole time, telling him not to give up. And then Cena was hitting some crazy moves. He came off the top rope at one point in the match. And he hit a Blue Thunder driver. So he was doing some... It wasn't a bad match. But Gunther was just slamming him all over the place, dude. He's a strong motherfucker. But it wasn't really about the offense. It was just trying to get Cena to show... It was trying to get the crowd to see that Cena's showing his resilience, as it is with every match. They're going to be clunky, and and whatever. They're not going to be perfect, but I think that works for Cena. So when he goes for the five knuckle shuffle, I think he went for it twice before he had said it was going to be the last time, but there was one five knuckle shuffle that he actually hit, and he was just like had the crowd be quiet, and he said, "This is going to be the last one." That was my favorite part of the match. I don't really like the move, the five knuckle shuffle, but once it was the last one, everybody just kind of it was a nice moment. It was a very nice moment. But there was multiple sequences. You know, he didn't really lose anything at 48 years old. But every time Cena kept building momentum, Gunther would just counter with a big boot or a suplex, or he would jump off the top rope and splash him. He was everywhere at once. But Cena, at one point in the match, gave him a FU through the table, and I'm pretty sure Michael Cole called it a FU. He stood up on the steel steps. He set him up next to the table, and he threw him right off of it. It was a perfect FU through the table. And I think after that, he did that top rope move off of the in the ring. He hit a leg drop, so, and he landed right on his butt. So I'm sure it fucking hurt. So towards the end of the match, Gunther had tried to get the sleeper hold in twice, and then John Cena countered one of them with a FU, but Gunther reapplied the hold like right after it. And this time Cena didn't kick out, so the crowd was starting the chants and everything. And then obviously we got the meme moment where Cena just looks at the camera, he smiles, and then he fucking taps out a whole bunch of times. So Gunther wins. Gunther is the new face of the company, which I'm not mad at all. It's just kind of crazy they had Cena tap, and everybody was booing the fuck out of Triple H when he came out too. I just feel like they should have had him at least like pass out, because he's just so strong that he just could not lose. So that's my only gripe with the match. But Cena was taking chops. And Gunther's a good wrestler. He's gonna make you look good no matter what. But Cena was taking some punishment from him, and he went out on his sword. He went out on his sword for sure. But after the match, everyone starts coming out, and Cody and CM Punk come out, and they put both of their titles on Cena's shoulder, obviously as a sign of respect, because he's won both of those titles many times. So I thought that was pretty cool. All the legends came out. Oh, sorry, y'all. And it was a really good monument. And then he left his sneakers in the ring, just like the Undertaker did. And he kissed everyone. He kissed everyone goodbye. It was a very mature send off. So, there were some people crying. Like, they did boo Triple H, and they were booing after the match was over, but it took them a while to come around and just say, okay, well, we're done with Cena. He's finished with us. So we had a good 20 years. So everybody was clapping. It was good. It was a good retirement. Plus Gunther's the top heel now. There's no question. Everyone's gonna fucking hate him. So that kind of brings me to my next point. Who's next? Who's coming up next? We got Gunther, he's the new top guy. I hope he wins the title soon, but I guess to figure out who's next, you gotta go who's the top guys right now. So who's the world champion? Uh, World champion is CM Punk. You cannot go wrong with CM Punk. And then we got WWE champion Cody Rhodes. So we're good there for another. Cody Rhodes is going to be good for years and years to come. I'm not worried about people booing him or turning on him or whatever, because he can be a good guy and he can be a bad guy. So we got Cody Rhodes and CM Punk at the forefront. If you want to look at your champions, who's your guys? So I guess the next most important championship would be the NXT championship. Nobody's taken Obafemi off for a while. I just listened to a podcast with him today, and I know he's interested in bringing up the next talent. I'm sorry, y'all. I heard some cats fighting outside of my window. Give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Sometimes I wish I had a BB gun, but I do not. I don't have any guns in my house. So where was I? Oh yeah, Obafemi. So your next most important champion to me is your NXT champion, because he is going to carry your next flag. So we got Obafemi, and no one's taking him off of his throne right now. He just got back the NXT title. So he's a star. And when he comes up, I think he's gonna be just fine. So next you got your mid-card titles. So US title. Who is the US champion? Oh, so I was watching SmackDown. The guy that's had the US title, his name is Ilya Dragunov. He is one of the only few people that have beaten Gunther. I think Gunther's only been pinned about 3 or 4 times in the last 2, or more than that, 3 or 4 years. So I have to look up the exact stat. But he has not been pinned more than 10 times since he's been in WWE. So Ilya Dragunov was the only one that pinned him in NXT. He just lost the US title Friday to Carmelo Hayes. So Carmelo Hayes is the US champion now, who was also an NXT champion. So mid-card is in good hands. On SmackDown. Now, as far as Raw goes, I think it's good for now, but eventually, because Dominic Mysterio is the Intercontinental Champion. Before him, it was John Cena, and John Cena won it so he could complete the Grand Slam. So, good on him for that. Speaking of which, Dominic once, before John Cena won the title from him, John Cena showed up on Raw, and they had a promo against each other, and Dominic held his own against John Cena with no problem. So, mid-card is in great hands there. Not to mention he's the greatest lucha of all time. Argue with your mother. So, mid-card there is in good hands. Next, you're going to get your women's champions. So, SmackDown Women's Champion. This is where we have our first weakness. Now, the SmackDown Women's division is just straight like dookie right now. It's ass, dude. There's nothing interesting going on. I don't want to see Nia Jax wrestle anyone. I think Lash Legend is on SmackDown now, so I do want to see more of her. She's great. But there's no story there. There's no story going on with her right now. The only story you could do with her right now is her and Nia Jax having a rematch. Because Like, I hate that they're a tag team, so one of them has to turn on the other. So, the SmackDown's women's champion is Jade Cargill, who can cut a decent promo now, but wrestling still needs some work. We had something with Naomi, but she's pregnant, so you can't really do anything with her right now. She did win 5 women's wrestling awards this year, though, so congrats to her. But yeah, SmackDown Women's Division is trash right now. Jade Cargill is just going to run through a bunch of random people. Oh my God. Speaking of that, I don't want to hear anything about Mia Yim. She is not an interesting wrestler at all. She can't do her finisher. Eat Defeat is the worst looking finisher I've ever seen, and she's fucking boring. I don't want to see Jade Cargill versus Mia Yim. The only person I want to see Jade Cargill against right now is Bianca Belair, because there's a story there. And y'all still haven't done it, and WrestleMania is about to come back around when y'all started this story. So that's the women's division on SmackDown. The Raw women's division, who is their champ? Oh yeah, Io Sky. Oh yeah, that whole story. Yeah, they're fine. They're gonna be just fine. Rhea Ripley's over there, arguably the biggest star in the company. So they're gonna be just fine. They're in a story right now where they're kind of in like a weird thing with the Kabuki Warriors, which is Asuka and Kairi Sane. I mean, it started off kind of slow, but I'm into it now. I just hope it ends soon, because all of this, I'm gonna tag with you and go against these guys, and maybe I'll turn on you. Nah, I probably won't. All that bullshit, I'm done with that. But it's getting interesting now because they're getting a little more violent. So Royal Rumble's right around the corner. I'm sure we're going to run with this until Royal Rumble, and then they'll probably have a blow-off match, the Monday Night Raw, right after the Royal Rumble. So fingers crossed on that. But after that, they're fine. Io Sky's a great wrestler. She's better than Jade Cargill, that's for sure. And it feels like all the better wrestlers are on Raw. The women's U.S. title, Chelsea Green, I'm completely fine with her having that title. That title belongs to her. She's funny. I watch her segments and I love them. She's the funniest. She might be. She's not R-Truth level yet, but she's going up. She's getting up there. But she's really fucking funny. And the Secret Hervis is the best thing, like one of the more funnier gimmicks for me right now. And my wife isn't into wrestling at all, but I'll show her some of their segments and she'll get a laugh out of it. So I always like making non-wrestling fans laugh about wrestling. So they're good. The women's intercontinental title picture is pretty good, because they have Maxine Dupree, who made a fucking switch, and she's great. I could run down the NXT championships and all of that other stuff, but the point I'm trying to make is the future looks like it's in good hands. The only thing I'm worried about is the repetitive storylines. I mean, this is wrestling, so the storylines are going to get repetitive. That's just the way it is. You can only book a championship match between two guys so many different ways. Either it's a blood feud or it's not a blood feud. And if it's not a blood feud, it's because he's on a team with somebody else, or it's because they're both good guys and they want to have a respectable match. so someone else can come in and make it a blood feud. And then there's only so many things you can do. The real problem is trying to find somebody that connects with the crowd in a way that's unique. So right now we have a lot more people coming up that are unique in their own way. I've never seen anyone like Obafemi. I've never seen anyone like Javon Evans. Who just got called up to the main roster. I've never seen anyone like, what is that guy's name? He does a 450 swanton bomb. Leon Slater. I've never seen anyone like Leon Slater. That guy is amazing. And he's fast too. Him and Javon Evans were in a tag team for a long time. So the future looks bright. Joe Hendry's officially on NXT now too. So we got some hitters here. Yeah, I just don't want the storylines to get too repetitive, though. I don't want it to just be normal matches. Like, put some stipulations in there. Let's get those 3 stages of hell matches. Let's get those I just want an old school steel cage match sometimes. Like, hey, I'm fucking sick of you. We're doing this in a steel cage. We don't really get that much anymore on a random Raw. Even if it's just like a Falls Count Anywhere match and like in the back somebody else jumps him from behind. Like, yeah, it's still a jumping, but at least it happened in a different way. Not everything has to be done in the arena. They used to utilize the back so much more. Now it seems like it's just like an afterthought. You really kind of saw that when Rock went up against Cody, and a lot of that feud was done in the backstage camera area and the camera crew following them around as opposed to it being done inside of the ring. So that was cool too. So I kind of want to get back to that. That would be awesome. Another way to improve would, again, be adding stipulations to more matches. A prime example of that would have been like with the Kabuki Warriors and the whole, Sky and Rhea Ripley thing. And I'm sorry if I sound congested today, guys. My nose has been stuffed all morning. Each match has been like just a tag team match and something else happening at the end. Put some stipulations on it. Make it a tornado tag. Make it a fucking holiday, fucking turkey bash or some shit. I don't care, but like, keep it. Don't just do a tag team match every week. That's how stories get stale. Put some stipulations on that shit, or make 2 members go 1v1 and the other ones are on the outside and some shit happens. But don't do that 2 weeks in a fucking row. So that's the problem I'm having with them. Just do something fun every now and then. It doesn't even have to be a match every week. So that's annoying. Another thing that's annoying is rivalries lasting too long. If your rivalry lasts past the next pay-per-view, it better end at the pay-per-view that's after that. And that's it. You get 2 pay-per-views at max. I shouldn't have to deal with the same rivalry for a year in a row. Unless it's like a Cody Roman caliber rivalry. Then by all means, give me that for 2 years. But if it's for the Intercontinental title, I don't want the same people having the same match for weeks and months on end, and then this guy gets injured and then he comes back, and it's like you're trying to make this into a legendary rivalry when it's not that. So, and that's another gripe. So I could complain all day and people would agree with me 100% because it's easy to point out the flaws. But let's point out the good. All right, we got two new champions Who would have thought in 2025 that CM Punk would be the world champion on Monday Night Raw? And AJ Lee came back. Nobody thought that would happen. Nobody thought Cody Rhodes and CM Punk. Ugh. Oh my gosh, I'm going to sleep after this. Nobody thought that Cody Rhodes and CM Punk would be the faces of WWE in this year. So that's just take a second and realize what time we're living in there. Most of our athletes are or have been independent wrestlers within the last 2 to 3 years, so that's cool. So they know they get it, and I do like the slower paced matches. I do like that we're getting more baby faces because I'm sick of everybody wanting to be a heel. That's not wrestling. I want to be the good guy. I want the good guy to win. So I need more baby faces, but I don't need cringy baby faces. We're done with John Cena, remember? He's retired. So I don't have to deal with that anymore. We need just like your white meat, like, hey, look, eat your vegetables, but actually be somebody that means it, not Hulk Hogan. So, we're getting more baby faces. Javon Evans, you can never make him a bad guy. Who else? Maxine Dupree. I don't think she's ever going to be a bad guy. She's great. Io Sky. She's never going to be a bad guy, in my opinion. Again, she's too cute. Bailey, as much as she tries to be a bad guy, she's never believable when she is. So I would say she's a good homegrown baby face. And then Sami Zayn, even when he was a bad guy, he was just annoying. You didn't get the sense like he's evil. But Sami Zayn as a good guy is the only way that works for me. That man is the second coming of Mick Foley. So I need more Sami Zayn in my life. And I hope him and Kevin Owens finally get that last rivalry and they make it good. But yeah, I think we're going to be in good hands. I really want to see what happens with the U.S. title, because that right now, Ilya was taking motherfuckers out, and Carmelo Hayes just took him out. So fair and square too. So I'm wondering what's going to happen on SmackDown, or really what's going to happen on Raw. There really hasn't been any promos about the Royal Rumble yet. There's been like little mentions of it here and there, but I think all that finally takes off on Monday. Today's the 28th, so yeah, tomorrow's the 29th, so we'll see. We will see. Anywho, appreciate you guys sticking around. Next episode, I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I want to try to go to Mike's and see if I can get him on. And I was also trying to get people on for this episode because I wanted to talk about something else, but I didn't really get any inquiries or anything like that. I think everybody was just busy with holidays, so I had a couple people reach out, but around the time that we were supposed to record, I think one of them was still with family, and I was just like, we're adults, whatever. It's not really a big thing. But once I can get those guests on, we will talk about the other subject that I wanted to get to. But other than that, I will see you guys next time. And this was the Home for Infinite Losers podcast.